When you have been lied about for a series of years, how hurtful that is. So imagine that for over a period of months and years, and you know that it isn't true.
I heard that you've been talking shit.
Maybe 1%.
What?
And there's video footage of it.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security. Like, I tried so hard.
17 times. That's how many times Meghan Markle sat in front of a camera, looked the nation right in the eye, and told a story that quietly fell apart the second somebody checked the facts.
Gone on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers?
Every single one comes with a receipt, the hard kind.
You have to imagine, at the beginning, everyone has like butterflies, and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Ooh. My life was so hard. Everybody's life is hard.
Going back through these old interviews, I lost count of how many times the story on the sofa just did not survive a quick Google search.
She falls in love with the prince, and because of that, she has to lose her voice. But by the end, she gets her voice back.
I get another lecture from you, I'm gonna go crazy.
Today, we're counting down the 17 biggest whoppers she's told on live television, and we're doing it the honest way.
My look. She likes my look.
Your fashion is like one of my favorite things.
It's the biggest piece of dog
Her words first, straight from her own mouth.
Oh my gosh, I worked so hard.
Then the receipt that buries it.
Shut the up, bitch. You're an idiot.
We're starting with the biggest of the lot, the one that put a target on the entire monarchy.
In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? Who is having that conversation with you?
It was the accusation heard around the world. On Oprah's sofa, Meghan let it drop that someone in the family had worried about how dark her baby's skin might be, and she tied that straight to Archie being denied his title.
There's a conversation with you?
With Harry.
About how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
50 million people gasped. One problem, the title had nothing to do with skin and everything to do with a rule book written in 1917.
And so many of our viewers who are in mixed race relationships say it is a very natural thing to talk about what's the baby gonna look like? You know, is it gonna be darker or lighter? Gonna look like you? Gonna look like me? It's not considered racist. It's just you're curious about how your baby's gonna look. A negative judgment attached to darker skin would be racist. But just wondering, that's not racist.
King George V set it down over a century ago. The monarch's great-grandchildren simply don't become a prince. Archie wasn't snubbed, he was a great-grandchild, and the rule is the rule.
But if she hasn't had the children herself, or Harry hadn't been involved, then they can't be in the royal line. They have to have royal blood, those little ones. Without that, there's no chance of them becoming a member of the royal family.
And here's the part that ends the argument for good. The very moment Charles became king and Archie moved up to grandchild, he got the title, automatically. No apology. No change of heart. Just a 100-year-old rule doing exactly what it always does. Even the papers with no love for the palace fact-checked this one, and they all landed in the same place. The rule book, not racism. If that one was the bomb.
The color of the baby's skin. You asked Harry about it when he came out. He did not tell you who it was. Harry still is choosing to protect the identity of whoever that was.
Yes, and he did not share the identity with me that it was not his grandmother nor his grandfather that were a part of those conversations.
Number 2 is the fairy tale she invented out of thin air.
Before our wedding, we got married. We called the Archbishop and we just said, look, this spectacle is for the world. but we want our union between us. So like the vows that we have framed in our room are just the two of us in our backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury. And
beautiful story, completely impossible, because the man she named did not sit there quietly and let it slide. The Archbishop of Canterbury went on the record and took the whole thing apart. He signed the real certificate, he said, and signing a false one would have made him a criminal.
I'll be honest, I struggled to get to the end of the story because there does seem to be some kind of campaign. I feel there's a campaign to get Meghan because there seems to be so much more interest in picking apart her story than there is in picking apart the stories of other royals who may be wanted for questioning by the FBI.
So the only wedding that ever actually happened was the one a billion people saw on the telly. That cozy garden ceremony was a private blessing she quietly promoted to a wedding because it made the storybook read better.
I think the palace and the machinery of the monarchy needs to take Harry and Meghan more seriously and make sure that Harry and Meghan's antics don't impact the future of the crown.
When your own vicar calls your fairy tale a crime, love, it stops being a fairy tale. It becomes a correction.
I didn't know I was going to meet her until moments before. Harry and I are in the car and he says, okay, well, my grandmother's there, so you're going to meet her. Oh, great. I loved my grandmother. I used to take care of my grandmother. This is great. He goes, right, do you know how to curtsy? And driving up and he said, you know how to curtsy, right? I said, do you know how to curtsy? And I just thought it was a joke. I learned it very quickly right in front of the house. We just practiced and then walked in. And
you and Harry practiced?
Yeah, and Fergie ran out and she said, are you ready? Do you know how to curtsy? I said, oh my goodness, you guys.
Number 3 comes with a furious etiquette coach and a clip of her doing the very thing she swears she never could. Poor clueless Meghan. Thrown to the wolves, no training, didn't even know how to curtsy for the Queen.
Americans will understand this. We have medieval times, dinner and tournament. It was like that. Like I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty.
Lovely sob story. Shame about the etiquette coach. A gentleman named Edmund Fry, who ran a proper British tea room out in California, says he personally taught her how to take tea with the Queen before she ever met her.
And when she left Eugenie and Jack and Fergie say, you did great, thanks.
You did great! Thanks. She has to end it with how great she did.
And he is not best pleased about being written out of the story. He'll tell you straight, he's appalled, but you don't even need him. Roll the tape from her acting days, and there she is.
We?
Curtsying on camera like she'd done it 100 times before.
She says she had no idea, but a dedicated Suits viewer, the show that Meghan starred in prior to her royal role, discovered that Meghan did a curtsy in season 2, episode 6, that would have been shot in July 2012.
The curtsy she couldn't do is sitting in her own showreel. She wasn't unprepared, pet. She did the homework. Then she sat on Oprah's sofa and pretended she'd never opened the book. Number 4 is where she rewrote Who Cried First, and the staff who were there don't back her version.
What was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened to me.
For 2 solid years, the story was simple. Meghan made Kate cry over the bridesmaid dresses.
Did you make Kate cry?
No.
So where did that come from? Was there a situation where she might have cried or she could have cried?
No, the reverse happened.
Then she got Oprah's sofa, and would you believe it? The whole thing flipped inside out.
I don't think it's fair to her to get into the details of that because she apologized.
Okay.
And I've forgiven her.
Now Kate's the one crying, and Kate's the one groveling with flowers and a note. Funny how the story only turned itself around the minute there was a primetime audience to turn it for. The fullest account from inside those palace walls says both women were in tears that day. Not one villain and one victim.
It's horrible what Meghan has done. And I just feel really sad for the monarchy at times because I know that's what Meghan has in her sight, to do things to people like Catherine, things that came out in that book, you know, about calling them racist. Like she takes the most egregious thing you can say about a person.
2 upset women in a dress fitting that got out of hand. But that version doesn't sell a documentary. And here's the cruel part. Kate couldn't say a single word back. A future queen can't exactly start scrapping in the press, which is precisely what made her so safe to cast as the bad guy.
Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially because I know how much loss he's suffered. But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it. And I just didn't want to be alive anymore.
She told the world she'd been silenced from the cover of Vogue. She says they silenced her, muzzled, voiceless. The poor thing couldn't get a word out. That same stretch, she guest edited British Vogue, handpicked the entire issue and put her stamp on the cover. Some gag order, that is. Silenced women don't land a magazine cover, rack up dozens of public engagements, and then sit down for a primetime teledocumentary where they sigh that nobody ever asks if they're okay. Somebody asked, "Dear," on camera, in front of millions. Call that a muzzle? It's the press tour half of Hollywood would give a kidney for. The only thing that ever got silenced round here was the version of events where she wasn't the main character.
Where Harry is looking at Kris.
Oh.
If you look closely, okay.
His eyes.
Do you see where they are?
On her boobs.
And he looks wasted, wasted. And Meghan, that's your prize, okay? That's your duke, your prince of the blood. He's ogling a 70-year-old woman.
Number 6 is hot off the press, and her own famous friend torched the story on a podcast.
We were told that it was totally cool to post, and then after it was posted, I think they realized it was Remembrance Day, and they didn't want to be seen at a party, even though it's already up.
This one's brand new. A photo turns up from Kris Jenner's big 70th birthday bash. Harry and Meghan right there in the frame. And suddenly, the Sussex camp is briefing that it went up without their blessing and simply had to come down. Privacy, you see, except their own friend Kim Kardashian picked up a microphone and calmly set the record straight. They approved it, she said. Everyone signed off.
Kim is pissed off. And it's not a surprise, is it? Given that the Kardashians are the royal family of Hollywood.
The picture only became a crisis after it went live. Once they clocked, it had landed slap bang on Remembrance Weekend back home, and a party photo didn't look great.
Kim and Kris and all of them are just totally furious because it's about the fact that they are overshadowing Kris's 70th birthday celebrations. No one wants the toxic twosome taking over every single major event in their lives.
So it wasn't a privacy breach at all. It was buyer's remorse with a publicist on speed dial. You can delete your own photos, sweetheart. You can't delete every other guest who watched you dancing at the party you're now pretending you never wanted seen.
I used to travel so much, and we can, but it has a lot of layers. So I would just backpack and road trip and be able to be a little bit more spontaneous.
She painted herself a prisoner. Passport confiscated, keys gone, trapped, couldn't go anywhere. Heartbreaking. Now, have a little look at the holiday album. New York for the baby shower, Amsterdam, Ibiza, Lake Como, swanning about with the Clooneys. That's something like 13 trips for a woman who supposedly couldn't lay hands on her own passport.
I would go grocery shopping every day.
Here's the bit she leaves out. Yes, the aides hold a royal's passport for safekeeping, then hand it back the moment it's needed. That's a filing cabinet, not a cage. As one royal author put it, the idea she didn't carry her own passport to her own baby shower in New York is simply unthinkable. You don't clear 3 continents of border control on charm and royal vibes.
She had one amazing ability, which was to find a man who needed her.
Oh.
And she played him brilliantly. The actress was sensational.
Number 8, the woman who swears she never even Googled him. There is a photo, butter wouldn't melt.
And that ridiculous story about how they first met. The whole thing was a tissue of inaccuracies, to be polite.
She'd have us believe she wandered into the most famous family on the planet without so much as a single Google search. Just an innocent girl asking if he was nice.
That she arrived in London, full career, single girl, wasn't interested. Of course, she'd been coming to London since 2013, hunting for a man to marry. She wanted an Englishman. She was on a man hunt.
Her own childhood best friend tells a very different tale. Says Meghan was fascinated by the royals for years, kept a Diana book on the shelf, watched Charles and Diana's wedding on tape over and over.
When she was about 9 or 10, she said to her father, I want to be famous, I want to walk down the red carpet. And she has now done that. And she's calculated that she could be a great success and by marrying Harry.
And then there's the photograph. Teenage Meghan, grinning, posing right at the gates of Buckingham Palace, back in the 90s. Clueless girls don't make a pilgrimage to the front door of the monarch. Her own biographers had a nickname for the ambition, Diana, the sequel. Does that sound like a woman who never looked him up? She'd memorized the whole script and was just waiting for her audition.
And now people say reconciliation, reconciliation. We hope the brothers reconcile. What do you say?
I do not get into people's family matters. Nobody consults me about their family business, so I try to stay out of people's family business.
the gilded cage she described, while the cameras filmed her at Whole Foods. To hear her tell it, royal life was a gilded cage. Couldn't pop out, couldn't do the school run, practically living off grocery deliveries because a normal trip to the shops was apparently impossible.
Then I try to do school drop-off, so they're at 2 different schools. That's a big circuit. So from 6:30 in the morning on drop-off mornings for me, I'm not home till 9.
The Times royal correspondent Valentine Lowe called it out flat. The school run she says can't be done is the exact one Kate has happily been doing for years. Same rules, same security. So does Meghan genuinely not know that, he asked, or has she just forgotten? And the cameras kept catching the prisoner roaming Whole Foods and the farmer's market like a free woman, because she was one. Best of all, in the very same interview where she's trapped, she invites the journalist along on a breezy, paparazzi-free school pickup. Some cage, lovely gift shop mind. We're halfway down the list, and the stories only get cheekier from here.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
The story they sold was simple. Their protection was ripped away out of pure spite, leaving the family in danger. A former Scotland Yard royalty protection chief, Di Davies, had a 2-word review of that. Complete nonsense.
Do you not want to just keep us safe? Whether you're the government, whether you're the royal household, whether you're my dad, my family, despite all of our differences, do you not want to just ensure our safety?
Taxpayer security comes attached to the taxpayer job. You walk away from the job, the protection walks out with you.
But 2020, when that decision happened, I couldn't believe it. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
They didn't lose their safety. They lost the free version, then hired one of the most elite security firms in America with the Netflix money. Somehow they've survived. And when Harry hauled it all the way to court to put the British taxpayer back on the hook, he lost.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are claiming that they need guaranteed constant security protection from the British taxpayer because they are so under threat in the United Kingdom. And it is just impossible, given how famous they are and given their royal role, for them to travel around.
The judges ruled the decision was lawful and done by the book. Spite doesn't tend to hold up that well under oath.
Did you think she was well received in the beginning?
Yes, far better than I expected. You know, my grandmother has been amazing throughout. You know, my father, my brother, Kate, and all the rest of the family, they were really welcoming.
2 broke souls with no plan, who'd filed the paperwork months early. 2 lost souls, no plan, forced to figure it all out from a borrowed mansion.
You have to imagine, at the beginning, everyone has like butterflies, and then we immediately went into the trenches together.
Yeah.
Right out of the gate, like 6 months into dating. So now 7 years later, when you have a little bit of breathing space.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's something wrong with her.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her.
Tragic. Also, on paper, nonsense. Because they were already taking meetings with the streaming app Quibi, sitting across the table from one of Hollywood's biggest moguls back in 2019, a full year before the great spontaneous escape.
She decided she didn't want to be a real princess because to be a real princess involves duty and responsibility, caring about other people. And so she just wanted to be a pretend princess in Hollywood, so she split her husband off from his royal family and then inked a $1 zillion deal with a bunch of media companies, and then all her projects flopped.
And that Sussex royal brand they were quietly building, trademarked in the summer of 2019. Nobody accidentally trademarks a global empire 6 months before they suddenly need the money. We didn't have a plan, she says. Pet, they had a logo, a lawyer, and a Netflix wish list.
I was doing an interview to offer them a platform to tell their story about why they left. And that was my #1 intention, was just clarity on why did you leave? And so some of the things that were revealed in that interview came as a surprise to me. And those surprises are now referred to as bombshell.
The couple who never wanted to leave with the one-way ticket. They never wanted to go, she insists. Pushed out, heartbroken, dreaming of splitting their time between 2 countries. Yet the quiet maneuvering for the exit was apparently underway as far back as late 2018, with Harry reportedly meeting Oprah in a London hotel barely 6 months after the confetti had settled. And that whole "will keep one foot in the UK"?
You know, look what we've built. We've built a beautiful life and we have 2 healthy, beautiful children.
Her last visit to Britain was September 2022 for the Queen's funeral. She hasn't been back since. One foot in both camps, that is not. It's a one-way ticket with a very good story stapled to the back of it.
The week before the wedding, come out with this big front page expose, and it appears to show you collaborating with a photographer to create pictures which we had by then all seen around the world of you in an internet cafe looking charmingly at pictures of Harry and Meghan, of you looking at castles and so on. But then it came out that it appeared that you had helped set these pictures up.
The tabloids she blamed for her dad's mess, the mess her dad admits he made himself. She blamed the press for sitting on her father's scandal, then dropping it right before the wedding to sabotage her big day. There's a rather large detail missing from that.
Got it, but I didn't do this for money. I did this to change my image. For one whole year, I was presented as a hermit living and hiding out in Mexico. I was looking to change my image, and obviously that was a mistake. It went wrong.
The scandal was real, and her own father confessed to the whole thing. Thomas Markle admitted on camera that he staged those paparazzi photos himself and then lied to Harry and Meghan about it.
This was a presentation to me to change my image, because for the last year, photographs of me were always like derogatory. They would take pictures of my hand grabbing a beer. They'd take pictures of me getting in my car, taking the garbage out. They take pictures of me buying a toilet and making a big deal out of it. They take all kinds of pictures of me making me look negative. So I thought this would be a nice way of improving my look. Well, obviously that all went to hell, and I feel bad about it. I apologize for it.
So the drama she pinned on the wicked tabloids was manufactured by her own dad, with a photographer and a fee. Turns out blaming the messenger is a lot easier than admitting the story was true.
I'm so grateful to be in your company today. I was first invited to be a counselor at One Young World. I was probably a lot like each of you. How am I here? And there I was the girl from Suits.
A summit for young world changers that somehow became all about her. She was invited up on stage to celebrate the brightest young changemakers on Earth. She used the airtime to celebrate, well, herself.
How can they be allowed to do this? To run around like a rival royal family, including in this country. A country they've been trashing, with a monarchy they've been trashing, with a royal family they've been trashing. Why do we let this happen?
In a 7-minute speech, go on and count them, she refers to herself 34 times. The young leaders got the scraps.
And they were piling on Meghan as a liar, as an insufferable narcissist, as completely inauthentic, as who does she think she is? She married into this family, all she does is trash them, she's a hypocrite, she's trying to monetize her own children off the backs of the royal family, the ailing queen.
And the big emotional finish wasn't a cause or a campaign. It was a little paper name card she'd kept as proof that she'd been in the room. The summit, bless it, was reduced to her supporting act.
The heater in the nursery caught on fire. There was no smoke detector. Someone happened to just smell smoke down the hallway, went in, fire extinguished. He was supposed to be sleeping in there.
Now, a heater did overheat in the nursery while the baby was safely downstairs. That's a fright for any parent, and nobody's laughing at that part. What raises an eyebrow is the production that grew up around it. By the time the tale reached her podcast, an overheated heater had been upgraded to a fire, and an ordinary tour day had become proof of how heartless the palace was for making her carry on. Even royal aides and reporters who actually like her pushed back on that. A smoking heater, they said, not a fire. And the child was never even in the room.
And we came back, and of course, as a mother, you go, oh my God, everyone's in tears, everyone's shaken. And what did we have to do? Go out and do another official engagement. And I said, this doesn't make any sense. Can you just...
Why did you not bring him?
I was like, can you just tell people what happened?
The scare lasted about a minute. The victim's story got a whole episode.
I had to wear nude pantyhose all the time. Let's be honest, that was not very myself. I hadn't seen pantyhose since movies in the 80s when they came in the little egg.
The great pantyhose oppression lifted the second there was money in it. By her own account, being asked to wear nude tights was so stifling, so inauthentic, that it made her personal list of royal hardships.
That felt a little bit inauthentic, but that's a silly example. But it is an example of when you're able to dress the way you want to dress and you're able to say the things that are true and you're able to show up in the space really organically and authentically.
Her words for it, mind you, a silly example. For once, we're in complete agreement because the great oppressor quietly turned into a business opportunity.
Be her true self because they made her wear the nude pantyhose.
And to say what you want to say. But I don't know what it is. What is it you want to say? Like, get it out. It's been 10 years. Spit it out. What are you trying to say, lady?
For once and for all.
She sold designer tights through her own closet sale and gushed in public over a brand that does nude tights in, wait for it, 7 different shades of nude. And just months after branding hosiery a prison, out she steps, in public, in a pair of black tights. Funny how the oppression always lifts the second there's a price tag attached. And number 17. This is the one we're not going to laugh at. We'll happily pick apart the other 16 all day long. This one, we won't.
Wow.
When Meghan said she had been in a very dark place, that she had struggled, nobody sensible doubts that, and nobody should.
What?
Struggling is real, and it is serious. Full stop.
Maybe 1%?
What?
It's the biggest piece of dog
The only fair question, and it is a fair one, is about the mechanism she described. The idea that an institution with an HR department could somehow block a grown woman from picking up a phone and seeing a doctor. Because nothing on earth stops a person from doing that. Harry himself has said more than once that he went and got therapy in those very same years. So the pain, we take seriously.
What?
Yeah, you were the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope?
The claim that the firm locked the door on help is the part that does not add up. And that is where we will leave it, with respect and without a punchline.
I'm gonna come.
17 stories, 1 playbook, a dramatic claim, a long, sad pause, a confident delivery straight down the lens. And then, every single time, the receipts turn up. A wedding certificate, a court ruling, a rule book from 1917, her own father, her own friend, her own show reel. You can fool a camera, love. You cannot fool a paper trail. So, which one got you? Drop the number in the comments. Which lie was the most brazen of the whole lot? The secret wedding, the skin tone bombshell, or the passport she lost somewhere between Ibiza and Lake Como? I read every single one. Hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who remember exactly how all of this played out. And subscribe, because there's a lot more coming this week. Next up, we follow the money, the real story of where the Sussex millions actually went, and who is quietly bankrolling the lifestyle. You'll want to be here for that one.